General, let's talk about countries taking on their own autonomy. You are on African soil, not for the first time, but this would be a good moment to ask about one of the countries that has taken its own autonomy, and that's Burkina Faso.
When US General Michael Langley sat down for an interview in Kenya, he probably wasn't expecting a masterclass in accountability. But Citizen TV's Ivona Okwara wasn't playing soft. When Langley accused Burkina Faso's Captain Ibrahim Traoré of using gold to protect a junta, she pushed back hard. Demanding clarity, evidence, and context, she flipped the script. What followed was a moment that exposed the growing frustration African journalists and citizens have with imperialist narratives. Watch.
This is the thing, they just keep spinning things around when it doesn't work that way. Like, they just spin shit. That's all they're good for.
This.
Absolutely, Chairman. I see this, and I don't mind calling them out, but Captain Traoré and Burkina Faso, as they know that both, whether it's their gold reserves, that is all those proceeds are just in exchange to protect the junta regime.
Yeah. Why do they even care, though? Why, America? Why do you guys care? Because Russia is involved now.
Your remarks recently at the Senate seem to suggest that he's diverting, General Traoré, is diverting its 4 billion gold reserves to sustain his military rule rather than for public welfare. These remarks sparked widespread, condemnation across the continent. What did you mean by that statement?
Let me speak to Burkina Faso's sovereignty. They maintain their sovereignty. They make their decisions how they use their resources. They make their decisions who their resources go to for military support. That's their sovereign right. But my cautionary tale was just from a military perspective. That was a Senate Armed Services Committee asking me a direct question. Burkina Faso, a lot of great things going on to progress them forward. Okay? But then when you look at the military part of it, knowing that that's the epicenter of global terrorism, it was my time to illuminate that this is probably their weakest point, and there needs to be sufficient resources going towards for the whole fight of terrorism in that country.
When someone is counting words like this, be scared of him. This dude's counting words. He's looking for the words to put, like to form the sentence in his head. It's like, I don't think he was expecting a question like this to pop up. No, I don't think so.
Period. They make their decisions, though. That's their sovereignty, their sovereign right to make their decisions, what is appropriate, what's not. But I wanted to illuminate that it's going in the wrong direction now. ISIS is getting stronger. JNIM is getting stronger. Al-Qaeda in the lands of the Maghreb is getting stronger in that country.
And do you think it's getting stronger after General Traoré took over?
Yes.
It has. Just look at the numbers of attacks. It really has.
But is it because of him, though? His country is cool now. Is it because of him? This man, Obama, and Hillary, and how'd they call this other lady? How'd they call this lady that was running for president with Trump? They all talk the same. They just rotate shit. They talk a whole bunch of nothing. When you ask them a question, they just do this, and they don't say they just can't go straight to the point. I don't like people like that. They're real politicians. I do not like them.
2022. I've been tracking this since I took
command. He doesn't
command.
Talk like a general.
So, no ill will towards him, but the decisions is their own. They're looking for other ways to be able to, they're still on war fighting footing, but it's just going to take more resources.
So you stand by that statement? Because there's been pressure on you to walk those statements back.
That's my statement. That's my assessment. That is getting worse. More needs to be done for not just local, but whole of country because of these violent extremist organization.
What, what, what do you mean by not just local, but for whole of country? He doesn't have anything to say. This is some bullshit.
Are seeking revenue, they're seeking resources, they're seeking recruiting from the Burkinabe people, and they're seeking refuge within their country. That threatens their sovereignty.
And that threatens America's interest?
Say again?
Of course.
Does that then threaten America's interests?
Yes, thank you for asking that.
See that? America, you always have interest in things that really doesn't concern you. If Burkina Faso had no resources, you wouldn't care.
Because especially ISIS, and of course in East Africa is inextricably linked all the way to ISIS West Africa, ISIS Sahel, and there's going to be probably a move afoot for them to move and seek refuge within the alliance. So we have shared objectives, and we offer to work together with the Burkinabe government and border countries.
Emphasizing on border countries, Africans are trying to break borders. You coming to build it and make it strong. We do not want that. Just go back home. When people come to Africa and you go to like one country, you start talking shit like, you know, the whole continent, bro. There's 50 plus country in that bitch. 50 plus. Watch your mouth.
Mali, Niger, coastal West Africa countries, collective, because here's what these organizations do. Here's what these terrorist organizations do. They seek refuge in the seams or the borders of these countries and lets them thrive and grow and lets them recruit, gain resources to carry on their illicit and nefarious activities against the populations of those people.
And what would America, perhaps AFRICOM, be prepared to do? Would you be considering an ouster like we saw with Muammar Gaddafi in Libya? Because there's still many Africans who are yet to recover from that. If this is a bigger threat.
Thank you. And that's the thing. America, you involve yourself with Libya. Now Libya is messed up. And now you're acting like nothing happened. This is the same. If Burkina Faso open their doors to this man, they'll be dead. They will break that place down so bad. First by taking President Traoré down first, then they will crumble that country down. These people.
As you say, in Burkina Faso, what is AFRICOM prepared to do about it?
We do indications and warnings. There's a number of activities that we do, and we'll just go ahead and mention building institutional capacity. There's not going to be U.S. boots on the ground. Very, very small for exchange of ideas and training, exercises. Over time, that builds institutional capacity and capability in these armies. There, AFRICOM, we are working towards a burden sharing and a burden shift for their independent operations. That's our goal. We have the shared objectives because these same terrorist groups can threaten our homeland. So we're in concert. I was just in African Lion over in Morocco. A number of countries working together to be able to.
Is Burkina Faso invited here today for this conference?
Yes, yes. They were invited to African Lion in Morocco.
United States Africa Command. That's AFRICOM. Founded in 2002, 2007. People don't care. United Nations scam. A lot of African groups are crazy. They don't function.
Morocco. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Like I said, we're moving forward.
Okay.
We're moving forward because we have that shared goal of defeating terrorism.
All right. Speaking
of
that.
So wait. This whole interview, this man just keeps saying terrorism, terrorism, terrorism. Are you trying to say the president of Burkina Faso is a terrorist? Because I don't even get what you're saying. Like, we're trying to defeat terrorism. Who is the terrorist here? Are you saying the president of Burkina Faso is a terrorist? Like, Just say let it sink in. Just say let it sink in. Because I remember the video that I saw a video where they told Hillary Clinton they finally killed Gaddafi and how happy she was. You people have no good intentions for nobody. There are so much problems in America. School shootings exist. A lot of people on drugs. There are cities with houses and homeless people. Go fix them, bro. Leave Africa the fuck alone.
Because the reaction out of the statements that you made about Burkina Faso were several African leaders feeling you are speaking on sovereignty issues that America shouldn't be. And
thank you. See that? Exactly how I feel. Why does it concern you people, the dollar people? You just want the dollar to be atop. Why do you concern yourself about sovereignty? That's not really something you should be talking about.
Result, there are those who see the role of Africa as less of a partner in, the war against, shared threats, as you mentioned, and more of a protector of Western or American economic interests that allows access to Africa's vast mineral resources. And as more of a
example, Congo, Libya, just keep naming them. Nigeria, so many countries that they take stuff from. So this is true. You keep them unstable, then you can take their stuff.
Paternalistic relationship than one of respect amongst peers. What would you respond to that?
I respond that there's others on the globe that do that.
Okay. So if there's others on the globe that do that, that means America should do it too? Like, is that a ticket for America to do it too?
On the globe to
like
do that. I'm going to bring it up. We should have even already
known. You can't bring it up because you can't say it. America does the most.
We respect the sovereignty. We respect their decisions. We respect their decisions of who they choose as a security partner. And then we measure the common denominator that's keeping these countries across the Sahel from progressing forward. In 2050, the largest workforce on the globe is going to come out of the continent of Africa. The youth need hope. They need peace and stability.
2050, the largest workforce in the world is going to come from Africa. Where they'll come from Africa to where? Where they're going to? Why can't they just work in Africa? And it will never happen unless Africa becomes stable enough. What this man is saying is bullshit. Complete bullshit. Do you know how much Africans are already walking out of the country right now? And you're aiming for 2050 that most of the workforce will come from Africa. Okay, where are they going to work? So what you're saying, are they going to leave the country to go work out there, or are they going to work in Africa? Because we need people to stay here, not to go out.
So they can hit their potentials. That's a long-range goal of AFRICOM as we look to help these countries set those conditions for stability and security so prosperity can be presented to all the populations and the youth. Pan-Africanism is real and it's strong, and there's an opportunity to come up on the global stage, and this continent can do it. That's what we really envision.
So you're not
well, this man is just twisting words. You can tell he didn't expect these questions to pop. You can tell.
Concerned about China and Russia expanding their military and economic influence across the continent?
We are concerned about it, yes.
What about it concerns you?
Well, their influence. Their influence may not be looked upon as being a positive influence.
For who? For America or for Africa?
Well, for Africans. Okay.
Why? Why do you care?
So Americans have that have that in mind.
Why though? Because America has not done anything good for Africa, ever. Obama pushed the LGBT ABC people, made gay marriage legal. Now we have stuff like that in Africa. We didn't have it before. We have transgenders in Africa. We did not have them before. Obama was used to achieve that. Okay? You're trying to destroy African culture. You've not done anything. So I don't understand why you're bothered by China coming to Africa or Russia coming to Africa. They don't even push this thing out like that. Of course, they have their own goal, but definitely not like yours.
That for the African people and across all countries, be able to hit their maximum potential
This is
and
the second time you're
independence
talking about
and
potential.
sovereignty and
sovereignty.
also freedoms by rules-based international order, being able to get on the global stage and take a leadership role and provide for the people in peace and stability. Some of those aims are not the same as the approach of those other countries on the global stage. So that's my perspective.
Do you have a counter strategy?
Do we have a
Good
counter
question.
strategy as
Yeah,
far
for the
as
China and
to-
Russia.
China, Russia, their
Yeah.
presence, because you say it doesn't align with the ship?
This woman is smart. She literally knows how to ask questions that mess with this man's head. And she's smiling while doing it too. I love her.
Well, what we watch is the continent of Africa does not need to be militarized. Let's put it
Why?
that way.
Why? Why doesn't Africa need military? What are you trying to say? Africa should stay weak so you can come and get what you want at any time. Africa needs protection from people like you with your bald head ass. People like you, people like Obama, people like America as a whole. Africa needs protection from people like you. In Europe.
Does not need to be militarized. And so we watch, as far as security agreements and what does it mean? Is it really for the stability to fight the threats of a African country, or is it for them and their ability to establish a global hegemon of basis? That's what concerns us.
We'll have to leave it there for now. Thank you very much,
All right.
General Michael Langley.
Thank
Thank you
you
very much for speaking with us
All
on
right.
Citizen Television. We
Thank you.
appreciate your
All
time.
right.
One viewer didn't hold back.
That was a great interview. But that man just shows they have nothing good for Africa. Because he doesn't answer any question that was asked to him. He didn't answer nothing straight. He just kept doing this and talked about youth potential and sovereignty that doesn't even concern them, blah, 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 blah. Get the fuck out of here.
We as a country are disappointed in our leaders for hosting such a traitor on our soil. We are
Facts.
woke and not stupid anymore. Africa for Africa, my people. This isn't just an interview, it's a reckoning. The days of unchecked foreign influence are over. Africans are speaking, questioning, and reclaiming the narrative. And the people didn't mince their words. We don't recognize this colonial military puppet, nor do we identify with him just because he looks like us. Viva Ibrahim Traoré! Viva our Captain Traoré! This
People
interview
love
wasn't
Traoré,
just a
bro.
media moment, it was a mirror. A reflection of
People.
rising consciousness across Africa. The message to the world. Africa is no longer silent, no longer submissive, and absolutely no longer for sale. One viewer summed it up best. Do you understand Traoré is our coveted son? Are you going to retract your statement? Across the continent, the message is clear. Africans are fed up with foreign narratives and double standards. No one questions where others take their gold or oil, so why us?
Yes, perfect question. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, all of this doesn't make sense. All of it doesn't make sense. They just need to leave Africa alone. You need to go, France need to go, and countries that think Russia is good for them, they can take Russia. If they think Russia is not good for them, okay, they form alliance with someone else that they trust. If it doesn't end well for them, they learn and do it again. But America should stay away. Europe, when they bring their aid, do not take it. Yeah, that was a fun interview, on God.